I want to know something.
Go ahead.
Why did you go quiet when I was talking about wet dreams?
Because I told you a story one time where we went to Scotland. You weren't with me. We went to Scotland. I actually had a wet dream on a plane.
What?
Yeah.
Did you know this? Is that why you asked him?
He brought it up. But I'll own it. I don't give a shit. So
There's no worse place you could have
yeah,
a wet dream than a
Barbara, and
plane.
I was like,
On a
in
plane.
my 30s. I was in my 30s. I didn't realize I had been on a trip. I'd been, away from home for like 2 weeks, and I just hadn't thought about it. And I was just, oops.
Apparently you were thinking about
Yeah,
something.
I got upgraded to business class, which was really nice and exciting. So
You had a wet dream in business class.
yeah,
Well, at least
Plane.
they help you clean up in business class.
business.
You had a wet
Hot
dream,
towel, hot towel.
Yeah.
sat next to a bunch of people.
Jeff,
Sat next to Jeff.
he's dreamy. Anybody you'd be in my shoes, he'd do the same
He
thing.
has very blue eyes.
So did you get what I get? Did you get the slow sleep, or was it immediate disruption?
And I was like, I have a problem.
Did you call the flight attendant?
Yeah, and it's like for whatever reason, I was lucky. I had a change of garments available in my
No, but
carry-on.
what did you do? Did you just go into the bathroom and change?
What did I do? You want me to draw a picture
No,
of what I did? Barbara, I have a book I'd like to read with you. I just went to the restroom and fixed everything.
Was there any obvious?
What's that?
Was there any obvious
Seepage.
evidence?
I'm sure there was.
Yeah,
He said
Barbara,
he had a change of clothes.
The plane is pregnant
Well, okay,
now.
no. I mean,
He's got a baby Cessna at home.
You could be uncomfortable in your own clothes, but it doesn't show.
I'm very proud. It's a single prop, but
He'll be moving up to twins soon.
God damn it.
So-
when I flew to Paris for Minecon, I got lucky and I got upgraded to business class as well. Except I got put in the last row, so I was like facing backwards in the plane and had an aisle seat. So like economy was right in front of me, so I was staring at everyone in economy who was staring right at me the whole time I was
Must have
flying.
been really uncomfortable.
It was really bizarre.
should have been like this. Like I should have sleep.
So I was reclining all the way down, like fuck you, going to sleep.
It's like Homer Simpson in the Simpsons movie. Just like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine the realization
Yeah.
of spunking yourself on a plane.
How many
take
years
it.
I
had
don't
it
even know
been?
where to start. Like, what if the bathroom wasn't free? You just have to sit in it for a while and then.
I just got a text from Matt, who's like, "Oh, she's gonna be pissed that I told that story." He says, "Hey, I need to tell you something." I said, "I just waited," and he wrote, "The season 10 soundtrack is now on iTunes. Be sure to plug that." So Matt's apparently all business.
Season 10.
Oh, he just texted me also. Season 10 soundtrack now on iTunes. Plug if you can.
All right.
There you go, Matt. Season 10 soundtrack.
This
listen
is
now on
great
iTunes.
context for that
Listen
conversation.
to it on a plane while you're asleep.
You may get some unintended
The
consequences.
sexy
So my
sounds of
concern
Jeff
wasn't so
Williams.
much the actual incident itself, but I always have this weird paranoia that I don't know what I'm doing in my sleep, and it's like I have a weird paranoia that I was doing stuff in my sleep.
Oh, yeah.
And I
like
wake
grabbing
up.
at yourself or something. Pawing your junk.
Yeah, I mean, I was worried. I
It
was
would have
worried
been really
about
bad
that.
if you'd mimicked, like, if you were just asleep and you just went.
Listen, it was one of those stories where it's just one of those things that happens. You just completely have to own it.
I can't believe you've never told me this. I've never heard this before.
It's an amazing story.
yeah,
I
and
love that you just don't care. It's awesome. What, I mean, why hide that story?
It's funny.
It's a great
It
story.
is funny.
Yeah, well, it's like I don't think I told. I think like in the moment I wasn't gonna go to like Jeff and go, "Hey, guess what?" Or
Check it out.
or
It's
Joel,
not piss.
or Joel. So I didn't do that, but I did tell Gavin later. I
You
think
told me in Australia.
Oh, it's Australia.
I almost fell on the ground. You told me at dinner.
How long had it been since your last wet dream? Between that.
What?
Years?
Since my teenage years, probably. Yeah, I guess so.
Fuck.
I've always masturbated furiously, so I had
And
no
you've
problem
never
with that.
had a spontaneous emission.
No.
Never ever, really?
I don't think so. Not that
Yeah.
All right, well, let's do a test. Just hold it. See how long you go before going in the night.
See if we can make it
See,
happen.
guys always say they're happy they're not chicks because they don't get periods.
Right.
Things like this make me so happy when I
Barbara,
do.
That's nothing.
Yeah,
Never
that was
happened.
twice in
Getting
his
getting
life.
boners in high school when you're wearing sweatpants. Who wants to deal with that?
Teenage boners are the worst.
All right, you want to think some of the full embarrassment things too? You know when you're sleeping on a plane, right? And you wake.
I can't wait to hear this.
You do this all the time, where you wake up, you
You start snoring so loud that you wake yourself up.
right.
I do that all the time.
I'm worried that I made a noise and woke myself up. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried I made some kind of.
You wake up thinking, I've spoke myself awake. What noise was I making? As
Right.
That was happening?
Did I? Was it the act that woke me up, or did I make a noise that woke
Like, you think you
myself
got,
up? What was the noise? So
like
Can I get
shouting
it
some
right?
guy's name.
that's what I was
that right? Is that
shouting a
what that
guy's name.
Oh, Gary. What?
But that was part of the reason, I guess, why I didn't inform any of my friends that were on the plane with me, because I figured they would ask me, "Hey, why did you scream suddenly in the middle of the flight?"
Do the thing where you really, really have to pee, and so like in your dream you keep going to the bathroom, and then peeing, and then you come back and you're like, I still gotta go. So
Chris,
then you go.
do you have like a condition?
No, I mean you never had that dream where you really have to pee in your dream.
I never have to get up in the middle of the night and piss. I'm not 60 years old.
Do you wake up and you're like just covered in piss?
No,
Or-
I've
okay,
never
that's good.
peed. It's always just like because my body is telling me I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So like I keep peeing in my dream and be like, that's not working.
The opposite thing happened to me when I was, I think, 12 or 13 years old.
Opposite thing. You really thought you had to pee bad, but you were just dreaming?
I was dreaming, and I was dreaming about toilets, and then I peed my bed.
Nice.
I
When you were
remember
12?
that distinctly. Yes, I was 12.
She was 22.
Still not now. all that matters.
You told me you were listening
On
to
your
the
sheet.
World War Z audiobook.
Yeah,
It's up for rent.
Does
It was good.
you said you were listening to it last night as you're falling asleep?
Yeah, I know. I was, and then I kept having. I had a dream where like my mom was getting eaten by little baby zombies. Like, well, it was like we were defending
Did you
our.
wake up and you were in an oven?
Or the toilet?
Yeah.
No, it's like I was back in high school and we were defending my house, and then there was just me and my mom left, and then there was like this family zombies, and then just like
There's a family of zombies?
like as in mom, dad, and then baby zombies.
Dad gets
like,
home from
little
Dad
baby-
zombie
and I'm
gets home from
talking-
work, puts his hat on the thing.
No, I'm talking about like literally like a
Read the
1-year-old
newspaper.
zombie that was like, and then I looked down, it was nibbling on my mom. I'm like, oh, she got bit by
That's
a baby
his
zombie.
reaction to your mom getting bit by a zombie.
Well, I mean, well, you know, I like it's like had to.
Sorry, Mom. I pissed in the oven.
I figured now was
I
a good
might
time
as
to
well
tell
clear
you.
my conscience.
Yeah.
But no, they're fun to listen to. Like I like listen to them while I'm falling asleep. I'm like, and then I just pass out.
And then you have awful
Awful
nightmares.
zombie dreams. Yeah.
That's funny.
Has that ever happened to you where you were listening to a song or an audiobook and you had a dream that was relating to that?
I would do the reverse of it, where my alarm would go off, and I'd incorporate my alarm into my dream.
Yeah.
I've had that.
Like suddenly, like a rock started making noise. I'm like, why is this rock making noise? And
That's what Ben was saying.
yeah.
yeah,
But he would just like stay asleep. He wouldn't wake up or try to do anything about it.
yeah, and I think I mentioned previously that I have apnea, so I'll like start suffocating in my dreams. I have a lot of dreams about flying and being on planes, oddly
Yeah?
enough.
Probably because you do it so much.
Yeah, like I'll have stress dreams where it's like I'm at the airport and I'm like, oh shit, where's my flight? You know, what time's my flight?
I'm
You're
at the
like,
wrong gate.
Yeah.
Have you had a school dream since like you've been an adult?
God. I have school dreams every now and then. It's
Yeah.
super rare. I can't think of the last time I had. It's probably been a couple of years.
The
Is it,
last
like at your high school or a different
Yeah,
school?
I guess since I dropped out of college, it's almost always high school dreams.
Mine are always high school dreams, and I went to college for
Oh,
4 years
okay.
after high school, which makes no sense.
See, the last dream I like that, I was in college and I forgot I had a class.
Yep, that's
And it's like in
everyone.
like it's like finals. I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot I had this econ class or whatever. And it's like shit.
Yeah, I have
so-
that dream like once
Yeah.
or twice.
It's
every
like thanks brain, you asshole.
Mine are always like, it's the first day of school and I don't know my schedule. Like I don't know what class I'm supposed to be at. And then even if I do know what class I'm supposed to be at, I have no idea where it is.
Yeah. That happens as a reality to many kids.
My sister would sometimes like have the same thing. Like she was kind of a sleepwalker, and she'd get up and go to like the dining room, and she'd like sit down at the dining room table and like laugh in her sleep.
really
and then we'd like in the middle of the night like go in, and she'd just be sitting there laughing. You'd be like, "Come on, let's go back to bed." And she'd just like
What
asleep
kind
the
of
whole
laugh?
time.
Like a
Like-
giggle?
No, like full out like belly laughing. It was like something out of a horror movie.
No, I was gonna say that's really scary.
Yeah, especially because like all the lights are off. It's like the middle of the night. You're
Does she
asleep.
have like her hair
and
covering
you
her
get like
face?
woken up by like laughter in your house. You're like, what the fuck is that?
The last 3 nights, I've gone back into the same dream, and it's awesome.
Which dream is it?
That's pretty cool.
The first day, I was in I could tell it was a dream because I was in a bookshop. That would never happen. And I saw Courtney Cox. I was like, Jesus, that's bloody Courtney Cox.
Yeah, the
Just-
book part wouldn't happen, but Courtney Cox.
It
Every
might.
d- every
That could
day.
actually happen. And I made eye contact. I was like, oh man, maybe I should say something. and I don't remember what happened. But the second night we actually started talking, and the third night it was going well. So I think tonight might be the night.
You gonna seal the deal?
I think I'm
seal
gonna
the deal?
bang Courtney Cox tonight.
Good for
in my
you.
dream. But I'm amazed I'm able to get back into the moment in the same exact moment in the dream. Have you ever had that?
Maybe
I've
you're
had it where
gonna
I fall asleep to go back into a dream that was so awesome,
Yeah.
and it's worked where I was
Yeah,
able to go
yeah.
back into a dream.
I've done that, but never like consecutive nights.
Yeah.
I actually had day 3 of Courtney Cox on the plane this morning. I flew back from Oregon this morning.
How'd it
And
work?
Maybe tonight she's
Do
gonna.
you think she's dreaming about you?
I hope
At
so.
the same time, she's like,
this weird
there's this
British
weird
kid."
British kid I keep dreaming about. We're in a bookstore.
But it's weird because it's not current. It's like season 1 of Friends, Courtney Cox when she was all young.
Are you gonna?
It's not Courtney Cox,
Courtney
Arquette.
Cocker?
You
Nice
just
one.
blew it. You had an opportunity. Now you're gonna be
I
all.
said-
She's gonna be mad at you in your dream
But
because
it's
you said
actually
that
really fun to try and pick someone up in a dream because you can be. I'm not sure whether I know it's a dream, but I'm just like a bit more adventurous. And it's been fun trying to bang Courtney Cox. It's been a lot of
I
fun.
would think pretty much a slam dunk. I mean, no offense, but if it's my dream, it's pretty much a done deal on
don't
the
know,
first
yeah.
night.
It's
Yeah, I
still
feel like
in
you have to try to pick someone up in a dream.
Yeah, this is the.
Kevin's so bad at talking to
third
women. It
date.
takes 3
Yeah,
nights.
here's how my dreams work. Hey, I met Michelle Obama. What a slut! That's how that worked out. There's no third date on a plane at a bookstore or anything like that.
We're gonna go to the park tonight. Gonna go back to her apartment for some coffee.
They're gonna have their first kiss.
I met Michelle
hold her
Obama,
hand,
and long
maybe.
story short, I live in France now. I had to leave the country. That's the
You
way
and
that works
Roman
out.
Polanski are roommates.
Roman Polanski. Don't let me in with that dude. Come on.
Fucking fugitive from the U.S.
Yeah, for pedophilia.
This is great. Now tonight I'm gonna end up banging Roman Polanski and Courtney Cox.
No, you get banged by Roman Polanski.
How much of
Let me
our
tell you how
audience
this works.
He's gonna
knows
drop
who
some
Roman
qualu.
Polanski is?
Oh, so can I tell you about this crazy dream I had?
Yeah, please do.
I'm not kidding you when I say that
strap in tight for this one.
I woke up from this dream. I've been telling people I had to talk about this dream. I had a dream that I woke up from and immediately had to like go to my computer and start writing. It was bar none. It might have been like a 5-minute dream, but it seemed like it lasted like 4 hours when I had it. And I have retroactively tried to figure out what made me have this dream. And it was 2 things, I think. It was when the PS4 came out, and we've been traveling New York, and I'd been tired. And it was 2 things. It was Michael posted a picture of Lindsay's wedding dress in a bag, and he said, I guess I won't get to see this thing for the next 6 months. I'm not allowed to see it. And because it was still in the garment bag. That's it right there on the screen. So Lindsay brought this home about 2 weeks ago, only 6 more months until I get to see it. And then that night, I was watching Ashley play this game, Contrast. In the game Contrast, that was on the PS4, I think it's on the 360 as well. You play a person who lives in 2 worlds. They live in the real world, and they can go into the shadow world. So you can make like shadows, and then go into the shadow world, and then jump up the shadows, and access different parts of the map.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool. It's a cool game with light and all that stuff. But you can't be seen by people when you're in the shadow world and vice versa. So I had the craziest dream where Lindsay was at a fitting for her wedding gown, and she's like in the 3 mirrors, and she's looking at herself and all this stuff. And Michael walks in while she's doing that, and she freaks out because it's not their wedding day, and he's seeing her in the wedding gown. But then she determines, like, she's trying to talk to him, and he can't hear her, and he can't see her. And she determines that because it's not their wedding day, he literally can't see her in her wedding dress. So she can't be seen. And then she figures out that no unmarried man can see her while she's wearing her wedding dress. So she's basically invisible to a big part of the population. So she's like she starts going to like gym locker rooms and like spying on dudes naked and stuff like that.
Nice.
But then at the same time, we're invaded. And you know how when you're having a dream, how your brain mixes stuff up back and forth, but it doesn't matter?
Yeah.
We were invaded by Poland at the time. But then it was also Russia. You know what I mean? So we're invaded by Poland/Russia. And the US government determines that most of the army is made of unmarried males. And so they're like, wow, now Lindsay is our best secret agent. And I don't know how she went from locker room perv to secret agent, but it was a really quick leap.
She somehow let the government know about all this.
Oh, somehow. So she's wearing her wedding dress, and she's like going through government training, like as like a ninja, and she's fighting the Polish army, like she's out there in the battle for like karate chopping people in her wedding dress.
Judo chop.
But then the first thing she goes into, the first battle she goes into, the married soldiers see her, and they're like, "Who's?" And they start shooting at her. This chick in a wedding dress that's out here, and all the unmarried guys, the younger guys, are like, "What's going on?" They're getting karate chopped, and so she barely escapes. And Gus was a scientist in the government, and he's trying to determine a way to make her more powerful. Then he makes a machine, or he's trying to build a machine that will
magnetically pull off all the married guys' wedding rings. And if that happens, then they won't be able to see Lindsay, and she'll be able to attack them as well. And you're working on this machine for a long time, and Gavin is like, nah, I got a better plan. And you have like a red beret, like you're like a SS guy, or SAS guy.
I bet I look damn good.
Yeah, and you're like, I got a better plan. And you start parachuting in strippers, and the strippers land in the battlefield. And the married guys, once the strippers start running around, they all start just pulling off their wedding rings and hiding them because they want to appear like they're single to the strippers. And then Lindsay comes in and is like, chop, 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 karate chopping people. And then she gets all the way through karate chopping everybody in the Polish army, gets all the way to the leader of the Polish army, and for whatever reason, he can see her, okay? And she's fighting him, he's beating the hell out of her, and she's like, why isn't this working? What's wrong? Then she finds out that he's secretly gay, and he doesn't like her wedding dress. Like, he's criticizing, like, too much taffeta or too much lace. And it's like, no, it's like kryptonite that she can't, because this guy's in America, and, God, it's so crazy. Because gay marriage isn't legal where they are, the rules don't apply to him, and he can see her in her wedding dress. And she's fighting him, and she's about to die because he's about to kill her, and he keeps like going, and she's crawling backwards. And then all of a sudden she disappears. And he's like, what happened? It's because she crossed the state line to where gay marriage was legal. So now we can't see her, and she karate chops him and wins the whole war for everybody. Then this whole time, Michael has been upset that Lindsay just disappeared one day.
I've been with the government this whole time.
And then the war started. And so he's like completely depressed. So he has decided to go through with the wedding anyway. So she's all torn up and she's trying to make it to the church. Like she's all banged up. She's got an eye patch at this point.
So all Michael's family's there and he's getting married to no one.
To nobody, right.
Sad bastard.
And so and now Gus, for some reason, once again, whatever reason, is a scientist and a priest. And he's marrying them or marrying Michael to nobody. And he goes through the vows with Michael.
But wouldn't I know? Anyway, go on.
It doesn't matter. No, the logic doesn't apply. And he's going through the vows with Michael, like, do you take this blank space to be your lawfully wedded wife? Michael goes, I do. And he's like, boo. Michael's all crying. And then he says the blank space, and do you take Michael to be your lawfully wedded husband? And you hear Lindsay's voice go, I do, out of nowhere. And then she appears because now they're married. And she appears, and that was the end of the dream. It was the craziest fucking dream I've ever had.
Ambien?
No, I don't take anything like that.
That's totally
an amazing thing.
That's totally an alpha brain dream.
But like nobody wrote that. Your brain wrote that while you were asleep.
It was bored, right?
The stuff about the state lines and gay marriage not being legal in one
And the
state,
strippers
she
as a
gets him
tactic.
into another one. Yeah. Well, that's actually something I think you would do.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Of course
for
you
you.
think it's something you would do.
Your
It's like what's in
subconscious
your
knows you
brain,
really
yeah.
well. A lot of that, I was just picturing Lindsay fighting Tim Gunn the whole time.
Oh, yeah? She was big at karate chopping. She was, hiya, chop.
So Lindsay played herself, right?
Yes.
But Gus played a scientist.
So when are we going
That
to
makes no sense.
I don't think Lindsay is an invisible secret agent, no. So in that sense,
But
she
she
didn't play
still
herself.
played. She still.
Well, Gus was still Gus.
Yeah.
I thought he was a scientist. Is he Gus?
He was
as
Gus.
a scientist,
Yeah.
or is he a scientist?
Just like
Gus.
Lindsay was a secret agent who was
Yeah.
invisible.
I bet it was Gus from the Angry Birds.
Gavin
trailer.
was like in like proper SAS gear with the beret and he has a cigar and all that.
When are we going to shoot this movie?
I don't know. I would love to, man.
Well, I'll just wait for the animated adventure.
This idea
it'll probably be a two-parter.
of Lindsay in a wedding dress with like a big, minigun, like mowing people down. Would be the greatest
Also,
thing
if
ever.
the minigun shot karate chops.
Yeah.
I don't know the Polish angle though. I don't know why I thought Poland would invade us.
It was probably repressed Cold War memories. So I had a dream that I was walking my little dog, Oswald,
They're both little.
my littler dog. And it was the morning, and I had like my hoodie on, and like I had just gotten out of bed, and I was walking him in the front yard. And I looked, and my next door neighbor is Gray. And I'm like, that's weird. How long has Gray lived next door to me? And then Miles and Aaron are talking to him. I'm like, what's everyone doing over here? Like in my neighborhood. They're like, oh, hey. I'm like, Gray, how long have you lived here? He's like, I've lived here for like 2 years. I'm like, how have I not fucking known this? So then I keep walking my dog down the street. And then my next neighbor over is Mac Brown.
What? Mac Brown is the UT football coach.
I guess it was like the night he had announced his resignation. So maybe I'd been thinking about him. And Mac Brown had like this big like Labrador dog. And like the Labrador comes out and he starts like licking my dog. And I look down and my dog is a candy cane. But in my head, it's fine. That's my dog. And I'm like, oh my
Is
God,
it
that
still
dog.
on like a leash and everything?
Yeah, it's on the candy cane's on a leash. And then, like the big Labrador
Nobody
has the
wanted to
candy
tell
cane in
you.
its mouth. And I'm like, control your dog. It's eating my dog. And then Mac Brown calls his dog away, but then like a piece of the bottom of the candy cane falls off. No. I'm like, look at that. Look what my dog's fucked up.
So wait,
And then Mac Brown's like, it's okay, I can fix this. He goes into his house and he gets like this aerosol spray can and he starts spraying the candy cane like to fuse the pieces back together, except like the little rounded part falls off. And I start freaking out like, my dog's face. Like that's the face to it, like my dog's face
I like how
just
you're
fell
still
off.
referring to it as your dog.
the
even though
candy
it's
cane on the
And then
leash.
Mac Brown just turns around and goes back into his house. I'm like, my dog's face fell off. What am I gonna do? And then I woke up and I was like, what the fuck was that?
so was the dog? Did you know that it had changed, and you were like, oh, the equivalent of the dog's face has come off, or did you actually think that it was your dog in that form?
It was my dog in that form, I guess. Like
As
it wasn't
candy.
gross or anything. It was just like a piece of candy cane broke off.
That's fucked up, dude.
And it was like really freaky. I was so upset. Then I woke up and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
My dream,
Yes.
the other night. This is the only dream I remember from the last week. In my dream, I had a wet dream, and I was like, God, I gotta change my sheets. But I fell asleep on it, and I was like, I'll change the sheets in the morning. And when I woke up, it was all blood, and there were like bloody handprints all over my mattress.
Wait.
That's all I got.
Oh,
Wait a
that was
minute,
still
wait a
the
minute.
He
dream.
was asleep in his dream.
Wait, you were asleep. You woke up from a wet dream to being covered in blood.
In his dream.
That was all a dream.
The whole thing was a dream.
I get it. But your brain is putting these two things together. You have,
Yeah, I was in my dream, in my mind, my dream mind. In my dream, I was like, "Is this
Third
my
Gavin.
whose blood is this? Did someone come and crawl with bloody hands on my like cummy mattress?"
So what was? Oh, so first Gavin is having a dream. That
What do you mean
second
first Gavin?
Original Gavin is having original Gavin Prime is having a dream about second Gavin in a
having a
bloody
dream.
bed.
No,
no.
he's second Gavin's having a wet dream.
Yeah.
Wet dream about being third Gavin is in a bloody bed.
No, second Gavin has a dream about having a wet dream, then wakes up.
That's second Gavin.
Okay, so yeah, third
So
Gavin.
original Gavin is having a dream about second Gavin in a bloody bed, who's having a dream
wet
about
Third Gavin is
Coming
having
his
the
pants.
best time, basically.
in a bloody bed.
No,
No, third Gavin's just jizzing.
Third
Second
Gavin is
Gavin's
in the
a bloody
mind
bed.
of second Gavin.
But wouldn't third Gavin have a wet dream and he wakes up from the wet dream? He's had the wet dream, so he's both had the wet dream and he's in a bloody bed.
The person in the dream doesn't have a wet dream, except for this dream. But usually,
You're saying the word wet dream.
What we're talking about at this point.
You're saying the word wet dream and Gavin so many times. I feel like everybody watching is going to have a wet dream about Gavin tonight.
I feel like our
If you
podcast
do-
is
So
on
you're
Tumblr, pretty much.
We should insert a subliminal frame every so often.
Hey,
I had a lucid dream the other night.
did you?
Did you?
It was awesome. It's probably like the second or third one I've ever had. I was in my house with my family in England. For some reason, that wasn't weird to me. I was just in England, and nobody.
Why would that be weird?
Because I don't
in
live
your
there.
house. Oh,
It felt like it was just normal.
okay.
But basically, nobody could really understand me. Like everyone would start talking right before I finished what I was saying, and they would misunderstand me, and I was getting really worked up. And I was like, "Wait a sec! Whenever I start talking, someone else starts talking," and it just wasn't making sense. Someone was off about it, and then I decided I was like, "It's totally a dream." So I started yelling. I was like, "Why won't anyone listen to me?" And then I picked up this. Like, there's this weird gem on the table, and I picked it up, and I was gonna bat my brother over the top of the head with it. And I was like, 80% sure it was a dream. But I was like,
80% sure.
But I was like, this actually might be real. It might really hurt him. So I didn't do it.
What was the gem? Like a
It
big
was like
diamond?
it was like a green diamond.
and you didn't think that was weird?
Nah. So I was about to whack him over the head. I didn't. Instead, I kicked the front door open and started running outside, and everything started melting, and the gem melted through my hand. I was like, it was a dream.
That's pretty cool.
I could have lamped my brother over the head.
Sounds like
with
that scene from Aladdin.
it. Yeah.
Can you run?
Yeah.
Can you run in your dreams? A lot of people can't.
No, it was sludgy for sure.
Yeah.
Like everything was like a wet painting.
Yeah.
I always find my dreams are just observing situations. I'm never involved in them.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I've had that.
Sometimes in
I'm
my
all over
dreams,
the place.
like you talk about how people have trouble running. I definitely have trouble running in my dreams, and a lot of time in my dreams, I have trouble speaking. It's like the words aren't coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, you know what? You know how I can always tell if something's a dream? Like if I get in that moment because somebody told me this. So if I'm not sure if it's a dream or not, in the dream I say, "Give me something to read," and they give me something to read. I'm like, "Yeah, that's not." You can't read in a dream. Did you know that?
Oh, you can definitely read. I've heard that before, but I've read in dreams.
Someone told me that, so now all the time in dreams, I'm like doing something. I'm like, "Well, I can't read this." I go, "Oh, this is a dream," and I'm like, to whoever's in the dream, I'm like, "Look at this."
So fucking read that. It's crazy. Can't read that, can you? And it's just like that has been one of the most common themes in my dreams in the last 2 or 3 years is because somebody told me you can't read in a dream.
So what is it when you try and read it? Just a load of goop, like squiggles?
It's just random.
I'm gonna
blah,
start
blah.
printing out a bunch of nonsense and just start handing it to you. I can make you think you're dreaming.
That's really funny.
A page of garbled stuff. I'm gonna look that up and see if it's true. If somebody just planted that idea in my head.
Yeah, I feel like I can read in dreams. I think maybe it was you who told me that, and I started trying to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
There's a
Never thought of
WikiHow
that before.
article, how to tell if you're dreaming.
Oh, let's get some of these.
Go to
over there.
WikiHow in your dream.
If you could read it, you're not dreaming.
If you're in the middle of a dream, go to answers.yahoo.com.
This is almost as good as the signs of death. Are you flying unaided? It might be in a dream.
Might be.
What else is there?
Is your head removed from body?
Check your appearance. Is it your body? What a dumb fucking
They have a point though. Like, how often do you look in the mirror in a dream?
I like the idea that like, I'm not sure if I'm dreaming. I'm gonna check a website. And then it's
Is
like,
that me?
I mean, this can only be done by people who are currently not dreaming, right?
Yeah.
So you go, yep, my body.
Unless that exists in the dream world as well.
Well, then you're just making notes for later.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be cool if there was a global, everyone was interlinked to an internet that was just for dreams, but everyone had the same internet?
No.
It'd be awesome.
I don't know if a lot of people would want that.
No, I would definitely not want that.
This is the dumbest article I've ever read in my life.
So
if they got on there, like, if you see Leonardo DiCaprio and Ellen Page and all that stuff, you're definitely in a dream.
It's like, can you make objects move across the room without trying?
Didn't you have a
You're
dream
probably in a dream.
where you were marrying Monica from Friends? Or like you were getting with her?
I was dating her, like,
it
night
was
by
a series
night.
of dreams.
Whatever
yeah.
happened with that?
I never met her again. She pissed off. I was right. I was gonna shag her. I
Yeah.
really was. I had it.
That's the worst.
Hey,